and welcome to yet another episode of Take 5. Today we're going to be speaking about women who nurtured and cared for us ever since conception. Now they've sacrificed, compromised, stayed up sleepless nights to care for us. This episode is dedicated to all mothers out there who do so much for so little. And we thank you for your unbridled support, understanding, and love above all. Mothers played an important role in the Bible. There are so many mothers worth mentioning here who went to extreme lengths to nurture and bring their children into the world and protect them. So here are a few of the best mothers in the Bible who faced odds to bring their children into this world. The mother who waited. Sarah was a childless woman who was married to Abraham. Their stories can be found in Genesis 15 when the Lord promises them children. They waited 15 years before God's promise was renewed and another 10 before it was fulfilled. Initially, Sarah had doubted God. She even laughed at his promise. But God moves whether we have faith or not. He knew Sarah's heart and he delivered to her a son whom she then named Isaac. The mother with the plan. Jochebed was a Levite woman who gave birth during a time when the king of Egypt was slaughtering baby boys. The king's decision can be found in Exodus 1. He wanted to keep the Hebrew population under control. So when Jochebed gave birth to a son, she knew she could not allow him to be killed. So she hid the boy for 3 months until she could no longer keep him safely hidden. Rather than drowning him in the Nile as the king had demanded, she made a small boat for him and sent her daughter Miriam to watch the basket as it made its way down the river. Miriam did as she was instructed and saw the Pharaoh's daughter take pity on the babe. She knew he was a Hebrew and knew his fate, but decided to keep him instead. So Miriam approached her and then she said she knew a wet nurse who was her mother. And the Pharaoh's daughter hired Jochebed as a wet nurse as she raised the boy who was named Moses. Jochebed refused to do what she knew was wrong and saved her son's life. The result, as we know, is that Moses saved all of the Hebrews from Egypt with God's help. What our mothers do may break some rules, but if they are in accordance to God's plan, nothing but blessings will come from it. The mother-in-law. The book of Ruth describes Naomi, the mother-in-law of deceased sons' wives. When she heard God bless the land of her people with food, she convinced her daughter-in-laws to seek new husbands in the land. One of the girls, Ruth, refused to leave Naomi while Orpah returned to her people and her faith. Ruth learned faith from Naomi and was blessed with a new marriage and a son who was grandfather of David, who would later be one of the Bible's most influential and famous kings. Mothers tell us what they think would be best for us, but are open to letting us live how we feel we must. Orpah left her mother-in-law's side, but Ruth stayed and Naomi was blessed with powerful and godly descendants. The mother who believed. Luke 1 shares the story of Elizabeth, who was married to the priest Zechariah. Though they were both faithful to the Lord, they could not conceive. They were already elderly when the archangel Gabriel spoke to Zechariah to explain Elizabeth would bear a son. Elizabeth was ecstatic and soon conceived. When her cousin Mary, Jesus' mother, came to visit her unborn son, reacted to the Holy Spirit and leapt in her womb. When he was born, he was named John and would later become known as John the Baptist. Mothers are faithful, even when everyone doesn't believe. It is the faith that gives them hope for their children's futures. The mother who is blessed among women. Unsurprisingly, the Blessed Virgin is the #1 woman of the Bible. She was chosen from among the world's women and was blessed with a child, Jesus, who would grow to save all of humanity from original sin. Though she became pregnant before her marriage to Joseph, Mary was still married to him. In those days, Mary would have been stoned to death for not saving herself for marriage, but Joseph was kind and was later visited by an angel who revealed God's plan for her. Not only was Mary the mother of God, but she also paid an extremely high price. She witnessed her innocent son die a sinner's death. Her son was mocked, beaten, and crucified before her eyes, and she was powerless to stop it. Mother Mary is the ultimate example of motherly love, faith, endurance, and how to be humble. All mothers play a crucial and important role in our lives, so don't forget to give your mom an extra tight huggy buggy for all that she's done for you. And thanks, Mom! If you like this episode and want to see more, subscribe to our YouTube channel for more on Take 5. And do not forget to hit that bell icon for weekly notifications. Until next week, this is all that we have for you here at Take 5. Bye!